All right, next up here as we continue along, Navy, Memphis. Memphis 10.5-point home favorites, 55 the total in this game. Total's been bet up. I do agree with that. I like the over, and I suffered an absolutely excruciating beat. One of my best bets on the Saturday show was SMU Navy over 56. We have a 21-21
Oh man,
score at halftime, 42
that was
points.
harsh.
What do
Yeah.
we have in the second half? Yeah, 13 points total, 55. Total falls a point short. Just absolutely awful. And look, there was turnovers. There was turnovers on there was a turnover on downs late. SMU had a chance to punch in a touchdown that would have put the game over the total, but they get first and goal with like a minute 50 to go. Navy's out of timeouts, and you know what happens at that point. It's kneel down time, baby. And that was no good for me, unfortunately, with that over there. But I'm coming back to it here. I think you've got teams that can have success offensively both ways. For Memphis, the problem isn't their offense. Seth Hennigan, the freshman quarterback's played well. We saw last week against Tulsa, 463 passing yards. You can make plays through the air against Navy. Navy's pass defense is still that's the weak link. Tanner
Yeah.
Mordecai had success moving the ball through the air against Navy. You would think Hennigan does as well. Now, for the season, Connor, Memphis's run defense numbers, they look good. But you look and isolate the last three games, their run defense has gotten worse. The last three games, they're giving up almost 200 rushing yards per game, 199 per game on the ground, 4.3 yards per carry. And you look against
Ouch.
Tulsa, they got shredded on the ground, 234 rushing yards for Tulsa. Temple, 159 rushing yards allowed in that game as well. So all of a sudden, you're seeing the Memphis run defense not exactly perform quite as well in recent weeks, and you're going to see obviously triple option here with Coach Ken and this Navy team. So I think both teams can move the ball, like the over. And I would lean Navy now at plus 10.5. You look at since they named Lavatai, the new quarterback, UCF, they win that game outright, 14.5-point dogs. They win outright against Central Florida. And last week, 13.5-point dogs against SMU. They're right in the game start to finish. They were leading for a little bit as well, and they only lose 31-24. So they've lost both games or 7 points or less. They lost to SMU, and then they beat Central Florida. So since they made the QB change, Navy's perked up a little bit. And I've been anti-Memphis all year. I've been betting against Memphis, the last few games, cashed in against them with Tulsa, cashed in against them with Temple, who beat Memphis outright as double-digit dogs, went with UTSA against Memphis as well. So Memphis has been a steady fade team for me. So at this number, it's Navy or nothing for me. What do you like here, Connor?
I think it's Navy too. I think it's just too many here. This is a Memphis team that's lost three in a row. All of them close. Three to UTSA, three to Temple, and then six to Tulsa. I don't like them laying this number. We talk about teams that there's just I don't like laying this. And early on the year, Navy looked really bad. That all we talked about the move at quarterback, the change has been big. They're moving it now. They're scoring points, so they're not getting beat 23-3 like they were earlier. So I think they're a little bit on the uptick of a team that this should be to me more like 7 to spread. I think this is just too much. I know it's moved in Memphis's favor, and they might be the better team. They played better at home lately. They're 4-1 against the spread at home. But Navy's been good in conference. In their last 21 games, they're 16-5 against the spread. I take the 10.5. I think Navy, you talked about one thing, the problem with Memphis is they can't stop the run. Well, that's all Navy's going to do is run it down their throat. So this should be close. I'd grab the 10.5 points here with Navy.
Yeah, I think it's Navy.
I don't know about the total,
yeah.
but the over's gotten there with Memphis games. They usually have been playing 31-30, those type games, 31-28. So you're right. It might get over this total.
Yeah, I think it's got a chance. And I would lean, like, Memphis has won 2 games against FBS opponents this year. One was Arkansas State. They won by 5. The other was Mississippi State. They won by 2.
Okay.
And that was a fraudulent. So where's the –
It
they haven't been
was.
able
That
to
was
win
it.
by margin. They have not
Yeah.
shown, Connor, they've been able to win by margin against FBS competition this year. So I'd be very, very leery about laying 10.5 with Memphis here in this game. I think the dog is definitely the way to go here. Now, last year, it's weird because last year it was 10-7 with these two teams, but the year before it was 35-23. So you had one real high-scoring game, and then last year was but remember, Navy's offense was just in shambles last year.
I remember that, and I
really
still took Navy.
Yeah.
They covered. I remember. Yeah. So, yeah.
They absolutely did in that one. And Navy's covered. In fact, the last 6 head-to-head meetings, I've got Navy 4-1-1 against the spread against Memphis in the last 6 head-to-head meetings.